things can really change from, depending on like how you are as a person. And I think part of why people felt this sort of close relation to Blaugranagram when it was a Twitter account, when I was reporting news every day, quoting the right news outlets and journalists and giving them proper credit and analyzing it in a certain way. Part of the likability that there was to that account, I think, was attached to how I was as a person. And I think for me, it's very important when you build a brand that there is a sort of face to the brand and that that face is genuine. Because a lot of people, I think, on social media can come off as very, disingenuous, or they can come off as jerks, or they can come off as, way too nice to be real. And I think a lot of those connotations that comes with social media and comes with, the way people behave on social media are very important to how a brand is portrayed. And even to this day now, with what, 20, 30 people under my wing in Blaugranagram, people still view me as the face of Blaugranagram. Like, people actively tell me that. And so for me, I think the fact that I've been able to sort of retain that status, as much as it's to some extent sort of annoys me because I'm at a point now where, I've delegated a lot. If you look at the organization chart on our website, we have a lot of people in a lot of different roles and positions. And for me, I think those people are worthy of that credit, which sometimes I think mistakenly goes to me because people view me as the face of the company. But I think it's important to have that status in a company. It's important for someone to have that status in the company because it makes it more relatable, right? The reason why Facebook is relevant to this day, even though the generation that started using it, which was, you know, our generation, maybe the generation slightly before or slightly after us, right? The reason why it's so relevant is because people attach it to Mark Zuckerberg as a person, and they see that as a funny thing, and that sort of keeps them relevant even in the, the meme community or whatever you want to call it, right? So having that face is important. And I think if you add the personal aspect to a brand, that helps it grow that much faster. And it helps it grow in a way that, while you don't, you can't really, you don't become detachable from the company. The company will always, to some extent, symbolize, but it will always equal you to some extent for some people. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because then it goes both ways. So if you do something, like for me, I collaborate with Barcelona, that boosts Blaugranagram's credibility because they go, oh, the owner of this company actually works with the club. Whereas if something bad happens on Blaugranagram, it also influences me because then people go, well, first off, he's the CEO, but also he's the face of the company.